Say your prayers, I'm coming to get ya.
Hey there everyone, welcome back to Duke Nukem A Time to Kill.
Now that's gonna leave a scar.
It certainly will, Duke. It is still just me, Niggeroth here, leading you through the medieval times as I decide to show off one of the newer weapons, the Holy Hand Grenade. It's actually a very, very useful weapon in that it is a very powerful explosive, but it also has homing properties, and actually is a pretty smart homing weapon, as you just saw there. It'll chase after enemies pretty well, as long as they're on the same level as Duke. So obviously, it's not going to bounce up like 20 feet and suddenly take out a guy on a second floor or something. But it's still very useful, and there's actually they give you quite a few grenades to chuck around for the most part.
Come on.
I also decided to show off the throwing axe here just a little bit, especially since for some reason this level is quite teeming with throwing axes to pick up. And as one would assume, stained glass can be easily broken.
That hit the spot.
And there's actually a secret behind this one right here. And it's another reason why I was throwing quite a profuse number of holy hand grenades around, because they end up giving quite a few there. It seems like each one of those holy hand grenades is actually equal to, I think probably about 4 or 5 hand grenades apiece. And since you can only carry a maximum of 10, they actually give you more there than you could carry for a maximum, so it's, I think they really wanted to make sure you use the weapon while you had the chance. Because I think a lot of these period weapons, such as the Holy Hand Grenade, the Throwing Axe, the Crossbow, really don't appear in any other time period. I guess that's,
yeah.
you know, a fairly accurate thing to be showing off in the game. You know, it shows they were paying a little bit of attention that you're not suddenly going to find a buffalo rifle, you know, in the midst of this medieval castle. But yeah, as you just saw, we picked up invisibility, much like
is not for the Dukester.
Oh god, that was an amazing line. The Dukester is not, you know, for the monk life. But yeah, as you saw there, we actually just got the invisibility power-up. It's much like the invulnerability and the double Duke power-up in that it has very limited usage. It lasts for a very short period of time, and usually they kind of place them in such a way that you're never actually going to be able to use them to any kind of extent. But yeah, while I get ripped apart here while trying to use the crossbow for no explicable reason, I suppose I should explain a bit about the level itself, because I don't think I actually accessed the pause menu. But now that we've pretty much completely beaten the alien forces back in this time period, they're now going to try to get back to the present, and I guess they're trying to seek sanctuary in the...
Looks like this whole place is overdue.
That makes no sense. But yeah, they're trying to seek sanctuary in the Duke family chapel, church, whatever you want to call it. I assume they worship Duke. So yeah, there is a secret passageway here, as we can naturally assume that none of the Duke family actually reads. And obviously there's some Drac chilling down in the sewer down here.
Me without my library card.
And for some reason or another library one-liner triggers while you're underneath the library. I think you're actually able to just keep triggering the library quotes if you keep on entering and exiting out of that secret passage doorway there. But I decided to speed up this rather long bit of swimming here. It can be kind of tedious to try to navigate those metal gratings, but honestly, it's not too hard as long as you make sure to stop before when it gives you the chance to get some breath back. Otherwise, there is actually a good chance that you might actually start suffocating in that part. But over here is it's a nice little additional atomic health down here, and considering that I got totally beaten by the pig cops in the library. A little additional health won't ever hurt me. So yeah, you know, honestly, just another pseudo-sewer level here. Thankfully, most of the medieval levels aren't too tedious, I'd say. I still kind of wish they had a little bit more enemy variety. I mean, it's good that they redesigned the pig cops a little bit for each, you know, time period, but it still would be nice to fight more than just Drac and pig cops for the most part. I mean,
Yippee-ki-yay.
they introduced the Necros, but for the most part, outside of the moat in the very beginning part, there hasn't actually been that many Necros, and you know, there wasn't really any, I guess, time period specific enemies for either area. I mean, I don't know, they could have had like a mutated cow or something for the, you know, the Western period, and this could have had flying dragons. Well, I guess there are the fire bats. But, you know, all things aside, by pulling that switch above the water, we access another secret. Just allows us atomic health and some additional weapons. But backtracking back to where we pulled the switch, just go ahead and jump down into another swimming part, which we don't really need, but it's there. It's just level padding, really. And here in just a second, I had a great idea. Trust me, it was super when I was thinking about it, but I didn't really think it out entirely. So, yeah, that was a great throw. And I'm like, all right, I just gotta climb, and I don't make it. Yeah, that's some pro skill right there. Not very many people can be, you know, blown apart by an actually useful weapon. It's easy to get blown up by dynamite. It's easy to accidentally blow yourself up with a pipe bomb, which I did a couple times on the previous level off camera. But it takes a little bit of skill to blow yourself up with a homing weapon that's supposed to home in on the enemies. But yeah, now that we're actually in the chapel proper, we can actually see that there are still quite a few Duke Nukem family symbols, such as crosses with huge atomic symbols and things like that. Thing is, I know there is a little ambush coming up here, and I always have an excess of pipe bombs. They really, they give you quite a bit, but they don't give you enough situations to use them adequately. But I feel this one is adequate, even though I don't end up taking out all of them. There's still like one guy left. But the super shotgun takes quick work of him. But yeah, it's hard to say if this is actually a religion that worships Duke, or if it is just, you know, commonplace for Christian churches to, you know, architect all the iconograph, the icons of the religion after the family that built it. I'm sure some theological major out there knows better than me. But we actually have to press these switches in front of the atomic crosses here. It'll open up something later on, but first, sexy nun.
I already broke that habit. I heard you haven't been getting...
Sounds like rape,
none.
Duke.
I already
And that's a
broke
horrible
that
pun.
habit.
So yeah, there are quite a few
yeah.
awkward things you can say to the nun that's apparently trapped behind a wall for mere sexual use. But we won't get into the deeper meaning of that. We actually just got a rather useless double Duke item. It's especially useless because you can't really run down to get it, and you pretty much have already killed everything. There's no other enemies nearby, so just goes to further cement the fact that they weren't really thinking too well about item placement in the game. Thankfully, though, behind this other large pane of stained glass, we do have an atomic health. Nice little fill up there. We'll go ahead and press this other cross switch, and I think we're actually about to get the final secret of the level, and actually it's a good secret, so excitement there. Yep, it is another new weapon, and it is the freezer. Not really quite sure why they decided to put it here, especially considering that it's right at the end of a time period that has nothing at all to do with, you know, high technology, but whatever. But after we've gotten that, we pretty much cleared everything out that we need to down here, so we just need to head up into the Belfry. The bell, or the... I don't want to say it's a clock tower, so I guess Belfry works.
Come on.
And John St. John really showing his chops there by portraying Quasimodo from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. But yeah, the freezer is actually a fairly good weapon in this game. It still has its ricocheting abilities, and you don't actually have to switch to another weapon to really take out a pig cop or most enemies. You can actually just freeze them into oblivion. And since I just really don't like, you know, waiting around shooting, you know, all the boxes and things separately, I decided just to waste what little bit of dynamite I have left, since I don't really like dynamite in the first place, and just take out these boxes a little bit quicker. I'm actually kind of curious though why there are very large chess pieces just kind of chilling up here. Doesn't really fit into the whole church motif really, but yep, I do not know. Now this jump can be a tad bit difficult. If you miss it, it's not death, it's just some unnecessary backtracking, but it's for a good cause, because getting a refill on the jetpack is always nice. And if you mess up on the return jump, you can just use the jump pack to get back up pretty much a lot quicker than backtracking through the level. But after we shoot another stained glass, which kind of looks like it has a dog in knight's armor, we're actually into the main area, or the final area I should say, of the church, with its fuchsia light shining in. And there's bound to not be any ambush here. It's pretty quiet. So yeah, just showing off the upgraded RPG that we got in the previous challenge map. It's more powerful. That's basically all it is. But yeah, this is pretty much the end of the level. With one more quip, we'll see you next time.